We have Jonathan from Latinos Against Spooky Shit. So, welcome, Jonathan.
I love the emphasis on the end of my handle. That was good.
I thought you were against spooky shit.
I am, but I gotta know the spooky things to be against the spooky things. So really, I'm doing this for you guys. I'm putting myself out there.
I had an experience when I was maybe 8 years old or something like that, where I had a big window next to my bed, and I woke up in the middle of the night because I heard. I am Madison Timmons.
I'm Chris Susi.
And we're paranormal specialists who live in the most haunted city on earth, Savannah, Georgia. Every day is Halloween in our line of work, so join us as we spin true tales of haunts, murders, and disturbing Savannah history. I'm Madison.
I'm Chris.
And welcome to the most haunted city on earth. I woke up in the middle of the night because I heard tapping on my window. And I pulled the curtain back, and it was just this glowing entity that looked like pyrite, crystal. It looked like its skin was glowing like that. And now I see spirits. So I was like, it's just a weird looking ghost. And and
who dies and looks like that? Honestly,
this one's just a little fucky.
I don't know what happened to him.
And then I later down the line was telling one of my friends about it, and they're like, "That sounds like an alien. What do you mean?" And I was like, "Well, I do have these weird scars on my ankle that look like surgical scars that I don't know where they came from. So you never know. I might have been abducted, but
could be. You never know."
Oh, JT, you got to zoom in on this face when we're editing.
I will.
That's
I will. That's a thumbnail.
I'm sorry, but the concept of
oh yeah, I woke up with these scars once.
and just didn't even think to bring it up is wild to me.
Yeah.
That's
My wife. That's why I married her.
Heavy sleeper.
No, actually, I do. I sleep like the dead, quite literally. Yeah. So, not surprised. That's probably why they picked me, because they're like, we can literally abduct her like a cow, and
pop her toes off, put them back on, she'll be fine.
Oh, I'm so lightheaded from that. Oh. Just the idea of they're
right, should we stick her with the anesthesia? No, she's fine. She's good. She's out. Nah, she's not waking up.
Do you have any idea how much that costs?
Exactly.
No, save it for the next one. Save it for the cow.
Save it for the cow.
It's gonna
Those
need
cows
it more.
crash.
Oh, God.
Man. So, Madison, I was thinking what you could do is maybe show him our newest toy behind you. So we collect haunted stuff, and it's all behind Madison and Chris. And I figured it would be really fun to show you some of the haunted stuff that we have. But also, you could show him the blue bottle tree, how we protect ourselves against spooky shit.
All right. We'll start with the protection first. So,
Don't be silly.
can kind of see it right here behind me. Okay. This is
directly under the bat.
Yep, directly under Batrick.
You just bring it up, hon.
Oh, yeah, duh. Tis a good point.
Yeah, you know that object that's right there? Just describe it to me and don't show it to me.
You don't want to see it, do you?
Yeah. No.
I mean, it's not like we're surrounded by cameras.
All right.
Oh, it's a, oh, God, what do they call that? It's a menorah.
It's like a little Christmas tree.
It's one shy of menorah.
It's a really abstract menorah.
Yeah,
it's abstract menorah.
So, one of the big cultures in this region of the South is the Gullah Geechees. Are you familiar with them at all? So,
not even slightly. I thought you were clearing your throat.
fair enough.
Fair.
But the Gullah Geechee people basically are people who were descendants of West African slaves that were brought over during the slave trade. And a large portion of them, I am descending. My chair is falling. 1 second.
I don't remember her being that short.
But basically, most of them do still stay here in Savannah and in Charleston, but technically they do extend all the way from Jacksonville, Florida, up into North Carolina. We're just going to continue descending. This is an unhinged episode, y'all. But basically, with their particular, spiritual beliefs, they are also against spooky shit in a lot of ways.
Oh, very much so.
And so one of their, protective measures that they created was a color called haint blue, which is HAINT. And it's kind of a light bluish kind of sky blue color of sorts. It's usually used to ward off against entities. So blue is very prominent in their particular belief system because there's some variation on where it comes from. But one of the consensus was that they believed that spirits could not cross over water. And so they would paint it on their porch or on
thresholds, any threshold windows. You'll see them on shutters and doors and your door frames to keep the spirits from trying to cross through the threshold.
And then another way was you could put a blue bottle tree out on your front yard. And this one in particular was created by a Gullah Geechee artist that's local to the area. And so they made the frame and then, put all the bottles on. But basically each bottle was supposed to capture an entity if it gets into your space. And so
we're going to need more bottles.
We're going to need more bottles.
I was going to say, what's the spirit to bottle ratio? Because some look bigger than others.
This one's for the hefty spirits. And then this
big
is
boy spirits.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
And
The
then
plus
spirits that you
size.
get at a haunted eating competition. Yeah, I see it.
fair enough. And then this is for the baby ghost. The little
sad.
Yeah.
But also probably the creepiest. So.
Probably the creepiest.
Hey.
And so we have this in here because we bring in haunted objects, and it's one of our protective measures, if you will.
The next one is the shotgun that I
Actually, this next one I found last weekend at an antique shop, and JT had sent me to get a floor lamp. I did not get a floor lamp. I did get this, however. And so this particular little guy was... Hello. This particular little guy was on a shelf in one of the booths, and I started hearing what sounded like a little music box playing It's a Small World, like the Disney ride. And I couldn't figure out where the spirit chat just told me, look. I don't want to look. But this little guy was hidden on one of the shelves, and he plays on his own every once in a while. So this
Quick
is
question.
him.
Is this a protective one?
Nope.
No.
Okay.
This
good.
is we're all doomed. Somebody
No,
brought
that's
this into
great,
the
because
house.
I thought that this was another protective one because I was like, hey, I don't know how to tell you this, but you got bamboozled. I'm
Actually,
putting it closer to the camera.
the cashier hated it so much that he refused to put it in a bag for me. He said I had to put it in the bag, and I was like, that's fine. I will take him away. And his box says porcelain revolving head musical clown.
This is like if a Cabbage Patch doll had a Juggalo phase.
Exactly.
Oh, stop slow turning it.
I'm not.
It
this
does
is
have
its
its own.
own
Is that what it
movement.
does?
That's
Yes.
it's revolving. I was saying it's more of an undulating.
It's gyrating.
It's
very
gyrating.
The eye contact.
And the eye contact is unnerving.
Yeah. It's no matter which angle I look at, it really
Well,
is just staring at you.
Yeah, it's devious. It's a devious thing. It's a horrifying monster that I wish did not come into this building.
You know what's crazy about things created in like the 40s and 50s? Very flammable. And I would love to participate in an experiment with this.
I think you're onto something.
No, listen, we don't burn the haunted objects because then we're
That is
just
very true.
releasing it into the space. At least now it's in its little vessel.
It does have a vessel, and the best way to deal with them, for future reference, burial.
Burials.
There you go.
Find some holy ground, dig a hole.
Just the way
You
that
hear
I'm gonna
that?
bury this memory deep into my head.
Well, and
Oh no! I promise you, late tonight in your dreams,
Don't say that because it will happen. I
you
know
will.
it.
You
Oh,
will.
no.
You will. Your eyes will spring open. You'll look down at the end of the bed, And
I will say that is something about, because a lot of people are like, oh, like what would you do in scary movie scenarios? Chucky, there is a 0% chance that doll would ever catch me. Okay,
That's fair.
Because it's crazy to me that these people got overpowered by plastic.
right.
Put them in cement.
Short legs,
It's not that hard. Short legs, little stubby.
Yeah.
You know, keep it at arm's length. It's not that hard.
ball
Just
peen
remember
hammer.
Yeah, there's so many options, and like that movie was upsetting for that sole purpose. Where I'm like, you got by a Cabbage Patch Kid. Like, come on.
Well,
Right, that's fair.
So what was also unnerving about this particular doll, when I showed it to Chris yesterday for the
Yes.
first time, we noticed that its feet have been removed and replaced with this. I don't know if you can see that well.
It's tinfoil, see?
Yeah.
And I have seen people use this exact setup to burn down incense when they want to just burn it to its absolute end. Like they don't want to preserve anything, right? Because they'll use oil and things like that to ward away evil spirits. They'll put the incense stick like through here.
Yeah.
And then they'll put a little well, because there's a well that's actually right there. And I was like, I know what that is. I've seen these before. People who don't want to ruin like the wood incense burner will make one. And I was like, what is it? And it was his foot. I was like, oh no.
When you grabbed it and turned it sideways, I was like, oh, Jinkies, a crack pipe.
Yeah,
But no, it's
that would explain anyone who owned
So
this
like-
thing.
yeah, it's weird. Everybody who owned it just always said it moved randomly. I was like,
Are you sure? What else moves randomly? Yeah.
The picture.
Yes.
Oh, sure.
JT's going to try to traumatize you now with our haunted objects, I think.
Well, I just think that a haunted show and tell it's
It's
perfect for
appropriate.
this.
So I oftentimes go through antique stores kind of looking for spooky, trying to see if there's anything spooky in them. And antique stores are great places. Little pro tip for people looking for haunted things. Antique shops are great for this kind of thing because these are items that have been in people's homes, that have lived in people's homes. They have a very specific energy, and those energies are well ingrained. And then they're kind of ripped out of those environments, put into a new environment, and that causes a friction of the energy of the home and the energy of the new, store.
yeah, it's like getting a rescue.
Exactly. Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's very much like rescue spirits. Yeah, you can go and adopt
Except
yourself.
the spirit
a
isn't
ghost.
shitting on my carpet because it's nervous.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. At worst, they might possess you and kill your family, but they will
Rather
not shit
take
on
a
your
dump on
carpet.
the carpet.
Exactly, and the carpet will be fine.
Yeah, I could
so-
replace the carpet.
So I saw this picture of what I'm guessing is a Victorian era boy. Could be a little girl, but I think it's a Victorian era boy. And it had this very haunting quality to me, and I couldn't place it right away. So I'll show you the picture.
If it's Edward, I swear to God.
So I don't know if you can see it very well, actually.
I can't remember if that's the same boy.
Do you know this boy?
I'm gonna bring the camera closer.
So I used to be in connection with a content creator who had a picture of a boy in this similar stance, but I cannot remember. God, that is eerie. It's got really realistic
Super eerie,
eyes.
but watch this. When I turn it looks like his head is turning, not his eyes.
That's a big hard pass.
It doesn't look like his eyes are turning.
No.
It looks like his whole head is turning. And I'm like, that is a marvel of really impressive artwork. But in the end, I am familiar with the idea that you can make the eyes follow a person.
Yeah, but a whole head.
But the whole
Right.
head, and there's something unsettling about the way it moves too, because there's a point right around here where it looks like it jumps, like right somewhere in here. It looks like it makes a slight twitchy look towards you. So I do not like this painting.
I feel like he looks like a snot-nosed kid from a 90s movie.
But
I
he's
would've
in,
bullied him
he's
for
in
sure.
the little
Yeah.
dress. He's in the classic dress of the early 20th century, late 1800s, where there was a period of time in boys' lives where they all wore dresses.
Is that the original frame?
I don't know.
That because that's a beautiful frame. Like,
Right.
It is a very nice frame, and I would I would imagine it's a reframing, but it is
Yeah.
it is an old reframing.
Have you taken it out of the frame?
No. No, it's beautifully matted, like completely
okay.
closed in, right? And looking at the, there's actually the Country Framer is the name of the
Right.
Country Framer. Yeah.
Okay, JT just delivered to me your last
Oh.
treat.
Another unwelcome addition to our menagerie of ghosts.
This one I acquired at an estate sale. I went out to this estate sale, and of course, me being nosy and morbid, I went up to the people who were running the estate sale, and I was like, "What happened to the person? Can you tell me a little bit about the person who died?" And they're like, "Well, it was a couple, actually, a German couple," which I caught on to because everything in the house was German.
And we know how non-spooky the Germans are.
Right. And so basically they had told me that, we don't know much about the couple, but we do know that they died at the same time and they were elderly. And I'm like, either this is a Notebook situation or like...
Yeah, I don't like that.
There's
that
there's
doesn't.
such a good bit here of making a Hitler joke, and I want to be better than that. I want to be so much better.
We try our best.
Well,
but noted that it was in your head.
yes.
It was there. It was there.
Low hanging fruit.
And so this item was, again, an item that was hidden on a shelf away from everything. And he was in the garage. And immediately when I saw him, I knew he had to come live with us.
I hate the fact that you said he.
This is
That
Mr.
bear has
Nope.
killed people.
Right?
This bear has been responsible for deaths.
That bear has seen something.
Okay, so the spirit chat says attacked asleep and son. Oh, and cheeky.
Cheeky. I think they think you're cheeky, so that's nice.
Oh, here.
But this is Mr. Nope.
We have named him Mr. Nope. And the concept, of course, is
Why is he
Alphabet.
coming toward?
Yeah.
we want you to see.
This is a very Ghostbusters giant marshmallow man moment.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so we think that he has caused a lot of mayhem. Maybe it's the reason that these people died. Who knows?
Could be.
They had a very absurdly large, collection of dolls and creepy toys. They had like a ton of German dolls in boxes, including one that looked like a deceased child, which I also bought.
Yeah, we also have the deceased child back there.
It was.
JT, if you need help filing divorce papers, I know a guy.
He encourages
He does. He encourages
do.
it because
Damn it.
it's for the content.
They're made for each other. Oh, look, now it says unholy. That's
It knows.
The spirit chat is
See,
is saying unholy. It's backwards for you. I'm sorry.
But
I might have to get one of those.
It's actually
so
really
much
cool.
fun.
They're very cool.
Yeah, it's the best one that we've had.
And this
For
one
sure.
says talking.
So,
So I'm going to put Mr. Note back because I don't like being near it.
so in your assessment of being against spooky shit on a 1 to 10, how big of a no are those items?
10 doesn't even begin to cover it.
Okay.
The clown, I was like, okay, it's creepy. I don't have a thing against clowns, but I'm like, it just looks weird. I don't really care for it. The creepy child painting, where it's like, I don't even know why I have that. You have it because you bought it.
Yeah,
So I don't know why
it's
you're
true.
questioning.
Yeah,
I don't know
that's
why I
right.
possessed this. Well, you exchanged money, currency, and now you own it.
Money
And
and
then there's-
services for.
And then there's, the devil's childhood toy, this bear that I just don't understand. It looks like it's been in multiple house fires and it's survived every one of them.
Yeah, it is the sole survivor of several tragedies, obviously.
Yeah.
It caused the tragedies.
Yes. Well, it is apparent that it used to have like a fluffy fur, but it had gone down bare to just the fabric.
It's mangy.
It's mangy. It's a mangy stuffed animal that
He has a
that
skin condition. How dare you?
plotting our deaths.
God, are we being ableist?
No.
It says born here.
No. Nothing
Don't
was
like that.
nothing was born here.
The ill will against us from Mr. Nope.
Okay, Ashley just asked, how much Vicks Vapor Rub do you need to protect yourself from all that stuff?
I could own a factory of Vicks Vapor Rub and shove myself into a vat daily, and I'm not sure it would be enough.
That's fair. This spirit chat just said cover up.
Never mind. I'm going to cover up with as much Vicks as I can find. I'm never far. Never far
See,
from
there you go.
That's the
Of the addictions out there, Vicks Vapor Rub is probably one of the least. Nope, it's weird. It's weird. It's out there.
no, it's fantastic and it smells amazing. So
Clears the mind.
it does.
Dude,
California.
nothing hits quite like you've been stuffed up. You've got a flu. You've got that runny nose. You can't smell anything. You put a little bit of Vicks on, and then your nose finally clears, and then you get that whiff of just menthol hitting the back of your throat. Oh, it's a special kind of relief.
I like that it feels like it sears your skin a little bit, you know?
All right. Okay. We're starting to get into some territories here.
That's the Salem witch angle. That's,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're getting into some, puts the lotion on its skin again type of.
Fair enough. The
I
that's
do
so
like the
funny.
burn though.
Yeah, right.
I
Thank
get
you.
It. It lets me know it's working. It's pain leaving your body. Yeah, I get it.
right.
Exactly.
So, are there any Seattle haunts that we might not know of that you know of?
I don't know of many because I didn't start getting into this like anti-spooky thing until I'd already left.
Okay.
I lived in Seattle from the age of 4 to 14, and then I moved to Montana.
Oh, wow. Is that where you are now?
I know. Unfortunately.
Oh.
It's
Big sky country, isn't it?
Yeah, it's got to be gorgeous.
It okay, fucking
So says the people who don't live here day in and day out.
yeah. Listen, I have my own opinions about this place. Montana catches fire every year because of like the fires and everything that happen.
Oh, sure.
And every year I pray to God he finishes the job. But I have opinions. I'm a
That would
city
not look
boy.
good on a postcard.
So why do you live? Why do you live there?
Honestly, just circumstances. Just to be close to my son.
Understood.
Is the only thing. So once he's a little bit older, I'll skedaddle. But it's not the worst place to live. It's just rural. It's small. I'm a city boy. I got used to the amenities of big cities and everything like that.
I heard that.
And it snows 9 months out of the year.
Oh.
Ugh. I'm not a snow person.
Wow.
Mexican, not snow. So
So not hot, not cold.
I just want to be
Temperate.
dead.
You're the Goldilocks of Mexicans, right?
I am.
I want it to be
needs
just
right. There's actually been a few places like Seattle. I love Seattle, the weather, because like even in the summertime, there's always like this cool breeze rolling through, and then the summer rain. Oh, love me a summer rain. Winters aren't that cold, but I don't know. I mean, everybody's different. But no, I didn't get to discover a lot of things. There are a lot of haunted places in Montana.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
There's Deer Lodge Prison or Deer Lodge
Oh, wow.
Penitentiary. There's even I won't say it just so I don't dox myself, but there's a lot of towns near me that are old abandoned mining towns.
Yep.
There's Glacier National Park. You've got Yellowstone National Park. There's a lot of places out here with a lot of deep history.
Dope.
Yeah.
And we often talk about how in areas where living was difficult, when spirits,
hardship.
when people die,
Yeah.
that hardiness carries on. Their spirits are that difficult to deal with because they are that that stubborn. they survived so much to keep going after they died.
It's they cling to life just as hard in death as they did when they were alive.
That's
it's,
it.
It's one of those
That's
things.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I learned that in Kansas, going ghost hunting in Kansas, a lot of those ghosts are super forceful. And it's like, how could they be so present and pushy? It's like, well, think about living here. Think about, being a frontiersman.
Have you seen this place?
Yeah, it's like this is not the place you would stop normally. This is the place you try to endure to get through. But these people settled here and on top of Lime Rock and decided to make it their home.
Yeah.
So
like the ghosts or the spirits in Donner's Pass.
Yes.
Like all that stuff.
Absolutely.
I used to live near there.
Oh wow.
wow.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it is.
Nobody travels there through at night. Like people refuse to.
I don't blame them.
No.
Yeah. No.
That's a big.
I'm sorry,
no.
JT. I kept cutting you off.
No.
What the hell do you want?
It's all good. I got a delay. It's all good. No worries. I was actually wondering, do you mind if I ask what's in the tanks behind you?
Don't worry about it. No,
Literally.
they're 3D printers, and my roommates, they 3D print stuff. So I don't know the first thing about it. So many people are like, "Oh, cool, you 3D print," and I'm like, "Nope, not me, not this guy." All I know is it smells terrible, and I see things when I smell it. So, probably the fumes, probably not good for me.
The vapor rub's not a barricade
It's not
against
counteracting.
it. Yeah, it doesn't.
If anything, I think it just speeds up the process.
That's fair. That's fair. It's clearing the way for the more harmful fumes. That makes sense.
Catalyst
Right.
to the brain.
I'm constantly saying that I'm going to get a 3D printer. I'm constantly, because I'm fascinated by it. I think they do really cool things. I'd be interested in it. But there's then I watch a video where they're working on it. I'm like, God, that's a lot of work.
Every time I see something where I'm like, God, that looks so cool.
Right.
And then I see the programming and the editing and the 3D sculpting. I'm like, I would rather shit in my hands and clap than do this.
Understandable. He's like, I'm a content creator. I stitch these videos. And
Labor? What am I, a poor? Do these look like the hands of somebody who does something?
well, back onto our
Let's veer this back.
We're gonna veer back into the ghost stuff. So if you were going to go investigating somewhere, not just Savannah, where would you want to go?
God, that's an interesting one. There's a part of me that wants to be in my home territory, so a city, right? And I thrive in the chaos of a city. I love the energy of a city. I've never been to, but would love to visit New York. And I would love, because I can't think of anywhere else in the U.S. that they have these, but the big cathedrals that they have in New York City,
Yeah,
those
absolutely.
big churches, just because of the history, just because of everything that's gone on in the colonies, right? I would love to experience something in there, but also speaking of churches, the mission churches, in California,
absolutely.
Arizona, kind of that entire thing, and. Little known fact for most folks that have been following me and my journey and everything like that, I came to the States when I was 4 years old. So I'm 31 now. I haven't been back to Mexico in 27 years. I would love to go back to my home state in Mexico, which is Ensenada, Baja California. And I would love to explore my history there and to figure out what local lore, cryptids, what local spooky things are in that area, and really dive into that.
That would be incredible.
That'd
Absolutely.
be
That would be.
fascinating. I feel like we haven't heard of a lot of, and I'm sure they're out there, but we haven't heard of a lot of paranormal investigators come out of Mexico. And I'm like, there has to be such intense hauntings out there.
Yeah, we've got a few, and unfortunately, I don't know them by name because I don't watch a lot of TV in general. But there are definitely paranormal investigators out there. There's quite a few folks, mostly in El DF, in Mexico City, that go and explore Las Momias de Guanajuato, because there's the old what do you call them? Underground las tumbas, the tombs and everything, where they have the skulls.
Yeah, the catacombs.
On the wall and
Yes.
everything. The catacombs. Thank you. English. where they investigate a lot of that, and year over year they keep finding more and more. Where it's like, what? The Catholic Church was hiding these? Who would have thought?
Huh?
No
Who
shit.
would have thought that would be a thing?
Surprise.
God,
Well, and
who would have thought 37 in a row? That is crazy.
Scandal.
starting in the late 90s, Mexico has had unprecedented UFO sightings.
Yeah,
Just some
they've
of
had a
the
lot.
most compelling and large scale sightings from hundreds of witnesses at a time, all experiencing the same thing, all videoing it at the same time. It was a major media thing in Mexico, but never broke through the major media wall of the rest of the world. And it was fascinating because there are pictures of like dozens of, these silver orbs flying over Mexico City. And they're like, "Meow."
And a lot of times they were over like historical sites.
Yes.
A lot of times they were
Right.
over, Machu Picchu.
Yeah,
down
Chichen
in,
Itza and
Chichen Itza and everything
Right.
like that. And I mean, even if you look at, Mesoamerican paintings, hieroglyphs and everything, from North America south, they've got these etchings of what look like, are they stars? Are they ships?
Sure.
Are they like, what are they? A lot of people speculate. So it's very interesting to see all that kind of stuff. But Mexico, also while I'm here and while I've got an audience, El Chupacabra is Puerto Rican. I don't know if you guys know that.
What?
No.
But the history of Chupacabra started in Puerto Rico,
Yes,
not
it
in
did.
Mexico.
Yeah.
I
So
was not aware.
yeah.
Fascinating.
Just so everybody knows.
Blown away.
Yeah, just so you'll know.
Blown away.
And it didn't start until like the 70s.
And
So
it's
that's,
It was
its
just
evolution to a dog-shaped thing is very notable because it was not a dog in its earliest ink.
Right.
It was an imp. It was an impy little
yeah, and
almost
the
alien-like
first
creature.
Yeah.
It was the first person that, for the first witness account of this creature was a lady. I can't remember her name, so I'm not going to do her the disservice of quoting the wrong person. But she had just came back from watching the premiere of the movie Species at that time. And what she described was very akin to the creature from that movie,
Sure.
which is what led to the initial speculation of like hoax, or maybe she just
Right,
was really
because she was
scared
just
and
taking
thought
something
that
from the
wasn't,
movie over, right?
That's
So yeah, then over the years it got it immigrated to Mexico somehow and became our thing, but Puerto Rico was where it originally started.
Dang.
Wow.
So we did an episode on the Chupacabra, 2 years ago maybe, and I'm like wondering now, like, did we say that in the episode? Because we do a ton of Madison does a ton of research, and
You
so
would
it's
have
like
had to. There's no way you did.
Yeah.
I'm
Because,
almost
like, it's-
positive we touched on the fact that it was Puerto Rican in origin.
Yeah.
However, our focus was more on
Yeah.
the Southwest American.
okay.
Because we were looking,
Sightings.
we weren't even looking at necessarily the lore of the Chupacabra as much as there was the recent sightings.
The Chupacabra just made me. I thought you said the Cobra Kai for a second.
The Cobra Kai, which sweeps the leg every time.
That's funny.
So
Yeah,
Jonathan,
Chupacabra
where did you
is
say
interesting.
you were from again? What state was that?
Ensenada, Baja California. If you need me to spell that, Ensenada.
So you can look forward to an episode in the near future
So,
where we'll be breaking
I was-
down all the creatures and
I was
ghosts of that
just
area.
about to say that. I have an idea, and we cover hauntings in different parts of the world in episodes. So we did like a really big deep dive in Kentucky before we went to Kentucky. We've done a bunch of Georgia. We've done a couple places in South Carolina and all that. And I think it'd be really, really dope if we could have you back on the show. And Madison, she does all the research, could prepare an episode on like in Ensenada, and I think that would be
Good
really
pronunciation.
cool, and then kind of share our findings with you.
I think that'd be great. I think. Excuse me. Are we going international?
We are.
We are bougie.
Yeah.
I love that.
We're not confined by borders. But I did quickly to the private jet.
I did have an idea though. When we were talking just a second ago, it popped in my head. Chris recently bought, I don't know if you're familiar with these,
You say property in Mexico.
No.
Yes, I have a plantation down there.
No.
Yes, right, my avocado plantation. Where the poor work. The poor.
No, he bought Dyson and goggles. And those are typically used to see aliens.
UFOs.
And in UFOs.
It's Dyson and in goggles.
Dyson,
It's a dye that was originally developed for taking pictures of people's auras. And so, and then it was outlawed by the American government. And
So I would just like to state that at the beginning of this conversation, I did not hear very well what these were called. So what I heard
yes,
were dice in goggles. And I'm like, how?
you shake your head and then you see how many numbers come up.
Yeah, I'm like, is this like a magic 8-ball where like if you roll snake eyes, you
It's
start
for
seeing things?
D&D players who don't want to use their hands. They just shake their head.
I hate the fact that there's for sure a market for people out there for that.
Exactly.
Well, because you're snacking while you're playing D&D, and you don't want to get
your Cheeto done.
Exactly.
Listen, as an avid D&D player, I get it. Okay.
They're diacetyl.
Yes.
Diacetyl.
Diacetyl.
Yeah.
Diacetyl.
But they're like kind of red looking. Chris had originally heard about them when he was a kid because he was a military brat. And
They talk about the first issued night vision goggles and how the earliest version of them were given to Vietnam pilots, helicopter pilots. And on their first mission out, they opened fire on just nothing. And when they were asked what they were doing, they said they were shooting at the demons because they were seeing these demonic shapes in the jungle and they just opened fire on them. And it was like, and so they went from the red night vision goggle to the green. So now all night vision goggles and all night vision equipment are green. And the reason why is because the red ones apparently can make you a little loopy and make you see things, cause hallucinations.
I forgot about that. Bear with me for a second. That unlocked a deep dive into my brain.
By all means, let's go.
So I've never tried it, nor will I, but there used to be, I don't know if you guys remember the untethered internet of 4chan back in the day.
Oh, 4chan, yeah.
Good old 4chan. But they used to have like these life hack things. But anyways, there used to be this thing going around that if you took a ping pong ball, cut it in half, taped it over your eyes, and then had red lights focused on it while like covering your ears to like sensory deprive you, that you could hallucinate.
Yes.
And so as soon as you said that,
that is the same concept and construct. It's nullifying the colors that we are accustomed to perceiving, and thereby introducing your brain to the things that we block out. So it's not hallucination; it's actually seeing through the dimensional, wall.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's very crazy, and we actually have used it a couple times, and it's been odd. It's just an odd experience. It causes an odd sensation where you're positive you're seeing something, but you're also cognizant enough to say, I don't know what I'm seeing, but I can see it clearly. But now I don't. They're goggles that make you question your reality.
Does it obstruct your view, or does it just put like a red tint over what you're looking at?
So they are densely dark. Okay. So you do need considerable light to see through them. And we actually used them in a ghost investigation with very high-powered flashlights. And that helped create the vision. But what invariably happens is every shadow undulates and moves because your brain is trying to see the colors that it's used to, but only seeing these colors that it generally can't perceive or look at. So the argument in your brain is what causes these kinds of things. But they are especially used for looking for UFOs because they think you can see through the stealth technology of UFOs. Sure,
because the light spectrum.
Right.
I mean, it makes sense. Yeah.
And they say, there's like groups that go out into the desert in Nevada and you pay
like
exorbitant amounts of money to just sit in the desert with these goggles looking at the sky.
It's wild.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So if you do come to Savannah, we'll
slap those on you.
We could if you wanted that.
We'll slap those on you and then drop you off in the middle of the ocean.
If you get near me, I just want you to remember that I'm 6'3", 330 pounds.
I'm 6'4" and 300 pounds.
Oh, let's go, baby!
Bring it. The ghosts don't stand a chance.
Yeah, honestly. Get on my shoulders. Come on. We're doing this.
We're Voltron now.
Yeah.
Just 12 feet.
The giant geek.
12 feet of terror.
12 feet of terror.
Yeah, but only one of us can wear the goggles at a time.
Yeah, that's right.
Just tell me where.
I just keep pushing him, handing him down, and you hand him up.
So funny. Well, thank you so much, Jonathan, for joining us today. This has been fantastic.
Yeah, so great to meet you, and love all of your content. Always have. It's
awesome.
It's been awesome.
Yeah,
Absolutely. We're gonna do that Ensenada episode.
Let's go. I love that.
Let's do it.
Yeah, that's gonna be fun. But thank you all so much for listening to today's episode. We hope you have a wonderful rest of your day whenever you are listening to this. And thank you all to the Pair Junkies who have joined us, and we're being very fun and active in the comments. We appreciate you joining us on our late night excursion this evening. But with that, my name is Madison Timmons.
I'm Chris Susi.
And stay spooky, y'all.